Hockey presented by Molson. Two teams desperate for a win. Toronto winless in 4. Chicago still searching for their first win of the season. But on the ice is not where our focus will lie. Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Cameron. In 2010, the Blackhawks put winning above all else, above health and safety, above the truth, and above the well-being of one of their own. And that was wrong. The findings of an alleged sexual assault investigation were released yesterday, but that's not where this story ends, just as that's not where it ends for all those who suffer from abuse and whose voices are never heard. Well, today, the John Doe referenced in the report, he made his name public. His name is Kyle Beach, and his voice was not heard for 11 years. Kyle, we thank you, we support you, and we hear you. Kyle Beach, that is where our focus lies tonight. Secondary is the game. Chicago hosting Toronto at the United Center, and that's where we find Sean McKenzie.
Well, Carolyn, despite the Maple Leaf struggles, they continue to preach patience and confidence, which ironically enough is two things that Leaf fans have very little of right now, and understandably so. This is a fan base that has been through a lot in the Sheldon Keefe era alone. Of course, there was the David Ayres game. That is a moment that no Leaf fan will ever forget. Then there was the loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets in the bubble. Understandable, though, considering the strange circumstances. Last season, though, the loss in the first round to the Montreal Canadiens is really what seemed to shake the foundation of Leafs fans. So Saturday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, the loss with no Evgeny Malkin, no Sidney Crosby, and no Letang in the lineup, well, that had Leaf fans saying, here we go again. A loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, and it sets the stage for tonight, what feels like a big moment, a crucial moment for the season. A win could help quiet down what the Leafs always refer to as the outside noise. A loss to this Blackhawks team, who is one of the worst, if not the worst team in the National Hockey League right now. Well, Carolyn, that would turn that outside noise into a deafening roar.
Sean, thanks very much. I think it's fair to say the pressure is on both sides. So what's your view on tonight?
It's more so on Toronto, but if I'm Chicago Blackhawks right now, and the whole entire hockey world knows they've yet to hold the lead this year, if I'm Coach Colleton, I'm just writing the number 20 on the board because they need to come out gangbusters, 20 shots on net. They have to be like a home run hitter that's slumping. You just got to swing your way out of this. So you got to come out strong, 20 shots first period, try to get the lead and break this slump.
Jen?
Well, for Toronto, they need to find a way to trust in their game. They can't let the external noise or the external concern from fans about their recent struggles on the ice, they can't let that interfere with how they play the game and how, in terms of how you read the play, the anticipation. You don't want to second guess every time that you're on the ice. So for the Maple Leafs, be sound defensively, and from there, they can gain the offensive zone opportunities. And they did have some slot chances in their last game, so to build on those offensive opportunities and to finish on those shots when they get them.
Everyone take a breath. Everything's going to be okay on both sides. We'll get you to the United Center coming up after the break on Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey, presented by Molson.
En la portería, con el número 32, Kevin Lightning. En la defensa, con el número 5, Connor Murphy. En la defensa, con el número 6, Jake McKay. En la ala izquierda, con el número 11, Adam Gould. En el centro, con el número 58, Mackenzie Entwistle. En la ala derecha, con el número 52, Reese Johnson. At this time, the Chicago Blackhawks invite you all to stand and remove your hats for the Canadian National Anthem. And then please remain standing and join us in honoring U.S. Marine Corps Corporal Nathan L. Banks Shipman, United States Navy veteran Airman Matthew Luparello Jr., as well as all of the members of our military home and abroad, as organist Frank Pellico and soloist Jim Cornelison perform our national anthem.
The Maple Leafs try to salvage their three-game U.S. swing with a victory in Chicago tonight against a reeling, winless Blackhawk team, a once-proud organization trying to restore its reputation and regain the trust of this fan base. In the wake of yesterday's Jenner and Block report, GM Stan Bowman has stepped down. The new Hawk president, Danny Wirtz, has met with his team, with the entire organization in the last 24 hours. So it's an uncomfortable backdrop to a usually much anticipated original six matchup tonight. Only Jonathan Toews in the lineup from the team in 2010. But everybody in the game feeling the shockwaves of yesterday's disclosures and comments from Kyle Beach tonight. Your thoughts, Craig, on the last 24 hours?
Well, just so much heartache to have to deal with. There's a lot of self-reflection for so many of the people who were involved. as so often, Chris, you get on the ice, you try to forget all that and try to focus for the next 3 hours on your job as a professional. Get back to playing, and for both these teams, the need of a win is high on that list.
So underway, the Leafs, after losses against San Jose, Pittsburgh, and Carolina, try and get back into the win column, and the Blackhawks have yet to lead this season, and it's a record drought in that department as they start the night without a lead for 360 minutes and 57 seconds. David Kampf was out at center playing for the first time against his old team, 235 games as a member of the Chicago organization. Here's a pass up ahead that gets beyond Adam Gaudette, and Justin Hall will idle as both teams make changes. You saw Jonathan Toews just out of COVID protocol to get into the lineup tonight. Austin Matthews on the ice along with Nylander and Bunting as it's played ahead onto the right side, and stepping up there was Morgan Rielly to play it back into the Chicago zone. Seth Jones paired with Calvin DeHaan, who sends it up on the left side for Kubalik. He plays it back into his own zone, and Bunting heads after that. On the forecheck, one-handed by Matthews, a centering pass. Brody had stepped up, but now a quick counter, and here comes Kubalik, looking rink wide in the middle for Jones, and the pass broken up with Seth Jones coming through the slot. TJ Brody around, and there is Toews at the line to hold the zone. Mitch Marner checks in for his first shift of the night. Out with John Tavares. Tavares at center, trying to get it to Marner. Broken up by Hagel, and back in come the Blackhawks. A fluttering shot that missed the target. Brody sends it to the right point. Kept alive by Connor Murphy.
You see the live backboard there as Campbell quickly got back to his post, thinking that puck might come back out to the front of the net. You'll have to watch for that as it goes along.
There's Murphy in behind the Chicago goal. Hall steps up, trying to hold the zone. It's played past him and scooped away. Toews nearly had a break as it bounced over his stick. Toews hit as Wayne Simmons steps into him along the end boards. Mike Hardman back from concussion protocol for Chicago, and the former West Kelowna Jr. in the lineup for the Hawks tonight against Toronto. Here comes Alex DeBrincat across. In front, and Jack Campbell has to make his first tough stop of the night against Philip Kurashev. So there's Campbell getting his sixth start of the season. And you see his record, while at the other end it won't be Marc-Andre Fleury up to a tough start. It's Kevin Lankinen for the first time against Toronto.
Yeah, maybe a little surprise there is not seeing Fleury. And here for Campbell, a 3-on-3 developing. The rebound was there for a split second, but he did a nice job of corralling it and getting the face off.
From the draw, the Leafs will dump it out to center ice. Scooped inside the line by Kampf. Andre Kasha after it against Eric Gustafsson. And the Hawks will roll it down the ice. Both blue lines have not scored yet this year, and both have combined for 8 assists. So they'd love to help chip in a little bit more. Both teams have been goal-starved so far in recent games. Round it comes, and it's Adam Gaudette with it at center. TJ Brody intercepts. Gives it to William Nylander, and Morgan Rielly will give it back to Nylander. Nylander with 24 shots on the season, only 2 in the first period. They may give him credit for a shot on that little backhand flip. Here's Brody, lost it to Adam Gaudette, and that's intercepted by Nylander and sent back down into the Chicago zone. Here's DeHaan sending it out to center. Gaudette tripped up. First penalty of the game is going to go to Toronto. Lankinen getting set to leave the ice here, but he's not going to do it until Chicago gets out of their own zone. And Now the Leafs with the touch, and look at the first penalty of the game, and it's going against Michael Bunting.
Yeah, reaching for Bunting, and an awkward play for Mitch Marner too as he's struggling. There's the stick in, and you could see Marner got a stick of Gaudette right into the groin area and looked, and he was a little tender going off. So an opportunity. You mentioned the long drought without having a lead for the Chicago Blackhawks. The one thing that has been pretty good though has been their power play. 11th in the National Hockey League, 6 goals already in their 6 games.
Yeah, goals in 5 of the 6 games. Here's Taves in front. Unable to connect there with Tyler Johnson. DeBrincat's also out there. Seth Jones on the line. And there's Kubalik, who's had a 30-goal season, so they've got some firepower, but Marner able to turn them back.
You know, it's amazing, as you said, the struggles for this team to have a power play that has been so effective. It's just 5-on-5. They're the worst team in the National Hockey League. They haven't been able to score on those even strength situations.
Now DeBrincat can't barge through. The Leafs will turn them back the second time.
One thing the Leafs have done really well to start this season is they've continued to be aggressive on the penalty kill. They're 6th in the National Hockey League, and they just don't allow you to get the easy setup, and a lot of times are able to thwart anything by this, right on the entry into the zone.
Battle for the puck, knocked loose by DeBrincat. The Leafs have killed 21 of 24 to start the season. 87.5%. Rink wide for Taves. He'll kick it back. Kubalik sweeping it towards Tyler Johnson. That didn't work, and the Leafs will send Chicago back again.
That's one that you got to put that one on net, as Taves was going through the middle expecting a rebound or a chance for a tip. Instead, the pass ended up going to Noah.
Nylander and Engvall come out in a penalty kill roll. Kirby Dach's on the ice, takes the pass in flight. Dach is moving in, scores! And the Hawks do have their first lead of the season.
I mentioned the entries and how important it is to try to thwart that and not allow a setup. How about Kirby Dach, though? This is just an individual effort, a little miscommunication behind the net. So gets a little bit of speed, one pass to the outside, catch him with speed in the middle. And this is one for Jake Muzzin, where he loses his footing and then loses his stick. One of the most important things for the defenseman, gets stick on stick. He won one swing by, wasn't able to get it right here, and now he's off balance and he's reaching. And for Dach, it's not the speed of that shot, it's the positioning, just up and over top of the glove of Jack Campbell.
So that ends the drought to 366 minutes and 41 seconds without a lead for Chicago. Kirby Dach's got his 3rd of the season. Only had 2 last year. Injury-shortened season, just played 18 games after really being noticeable in the playoffs in his rookie season in the bubble in Edmonton.
A real frustrating year for him last year, wasn't it? With starting with an injury and then not being able to really get on track.
Pass for Tavares too far. DeHaan was there for Chicago. Marner looks for the puck in behind the hot net. Now he gets it to Tavares. Jason Spezza out there with those two after the penalty. And a shot, open net, bouncing puck. And Spezza couldn't knock it down with Lankinen out of position for a moment.
There's the lively boards, but that one was bouncing on Spezza. He almost knocked it down and was able to get a shot away. And he had half the net wide open for a split second and unable to settle that one down.
Spezza leading the Leafs in goals with 3. Mackenzie Entwistle, the former Hamilton Bulldog, sends it down into the Toronto zone. DJ Brody gives it back to Morgan Riley, and he'll head north through center. Riley had it knocked off his stick, but played in by Nick Ritchie. Riley goes after it deep in the Chicago zone. Cycles it back, and there's Matthews trying to step away from Taves. Matthews, now Hall will play it in, and Eric Gustafson there. Leafs saw Gustafson last year in the playoffs as a member of the Montreal Canadiens. Hall hit along the inboards. It's worked to Taves in front. Campbell down, and he'll hold on. Ryan Carpenter on the doorstep. So the Hawks get the icebreaker. Kirby Dach, a power play goal at 5:44 on Wednesday Night Hockey.
Reference the 2019 Tampa Bay Lightning, who struggled early on in the season, and Steven Stamkos came out and called out his team in the media, saying, "We just continue to be free-willing team that thinks we can come into games and win because we're skilled." He went on to say, "We keep falling back into the same old habits that we've been doing. That cost us the season we had last year," and finished with, "Unless we change things, it's going to be a really, really long year." Spezza did say that these are the conversations they're having internally, but he doesn't feel in this market it's necessary to do that through the media, guys.
Just about every team seems to go through adversity. This seems to be magnified when it's right out of the gate.
It always is, and you know, there's just little things, and so much of it has to do with defensively. Talk about offense with this team, and you know, one of the rocks since he's been here is Jake Muzzin, and that's why that goal is just one a little bit deflating. I mean, that's a play that he handles 90% of the time a little better than that. Kirby Dach, 6'4", with good long arms, is able to get around him, and you know, that's the fundamentals and the structure that everybody on the Leaf team has been talking about. It's not about the offense. The offense, even though it hasn't been here, will come. But you have to be a tough team defensively to play against.
Leafs win a face-off in the Chicago zone. It ricochets around to Brody. Nylander's shot doesn't get through. And there's Reese Johnson, the former Red Deer Rebel, knocked off the puck and picked off there by Nylander. Not able to get that to the net, and chipped away by DeBrincat. Back in comes Bunting. Here's Michael Bunting with a shot. That is rejected, knocked down by Jake McCabe, and he sends it ahead. Hardman over the line, looking to get the return pass from DeBrincat. And now moving up is Seth Jones, and that pass missed everybody. Nylander almost picked it off, but slides back into the Chicago zone.
And boy, Nylander at the end of the shift too, he didn't have that little jump. He would have been in all by himself from the red line in.
Well, here's Seth Jones dancing in and firing that right on, and it'll be held on to by Campbell.
It's game time. Order all your favorites with Skip the Dishes. Let's get hungry.
And you know, for Jack Campbell letting that first one in, right now he's just settled everybody down. There's no problem here. Comes out aggressively, doesn't allow a rebound, and you know, he's the kind of guy that can really give this team a spark and give them some confidence going forward.
Seth Jones drew an assist on the goal by Dach. Here's Marner racing after it, gets to it, centers it, and it was deflected off the stick, but Marner with hustle gets it back, takes the return feed, not able to swing around. Dermott shot blocked in front, retrieved by Kerfoot, along with Tavares. Sheldon Keefe said he liked the work of this line in some capacities in Carolina, using their speed, and trying to hold the zone here, but it's off Dermott, then out. And here's Dach to the attack again as he goes to the backhand and plays it to the far corner.
I'm not sure he knew that he had Mitch Marner back there. I think he was expecting it to be a defenseman. Might have been a little bit more aggressive. Marner did a good job of just keeping him to the outside and not getting beat.
Rasmus Sandin waits till the Leaf change is complete. Jason Spezza back in. Rink wide it goes for Wayne Simmons. Nick Ritchie had it go off his skate. And back the other way comes Chicago, led by Gustafsson into the zone. They'll send it wide of the net. Picked off there by Hardman. Into the corner, it's Adam Gaudette, former Vancouver Canuck and Hobey Baker trophy winner. Trying to get his offensive game going in Chicago. Back the other way comes Simmons. Wayne Simmons had a lot of comments yesterday, and I couldn't help but think of a lot of what you've been saying in the last while. Do your job, and the only way to get out of this is by getting out of it as a team.
Collectively, it's all about the players playing for each other and playing within your role. And so often you try to do maybe a little bit too much or stretch yourself, and then you make mistakes. So much has been made about not sticking to the structure of this team. And if you're going to get yourself back on it, Mitch Marner looking at that last shift. I said in the pregame, just when you think of Mitch Marner playing well, you just think of him controlling the play with his feet and his speed. And there's just a good effort. Get in, get hounding on the puck. You're able to make something happen. And that's not about overthinking. That's just about going in and being aggressive and trying to make something happen.
From the draw, Hawks find it. Hagel sends it wide of the net. Brandon Hagel, like Reese Johnson, played in Red Deer under Brent Sutter. And they are both playing their first NHL games tonight against Toronto. DJ Brody ahead, off camp, bouncing puck, and there is Hagel. Up ahead, Ryan Carpenter. Carpenter, one of many Hawks that has been on in COVID protocol. In fact, 3 of the coaches, including Mark Crawford, still are. And Hagel shovels it in behind the Toronto net. Hall sidestepping a hit there from Hardman. Mike Hardman works the boards, but Engvall comes back to help out. Hall trying to turn away from the checking of DeBrincat. And now Seth Jones sprints DeBrincat. He's in. He scores. First even strength goal for DeBrincat this year. 2-0 Hawks.
This all comes from the turnover in the neutral zone. A chance to get the puck deep. The team's going to make a change. Cash is up above. He doesn't get it deep. He makes a bad change. And how about Seth Jones with his head up, haul it, not able to come back, and just quick little release by DeBrincat. He keeps his legs moving the entire time. He disguises where that one's going to go. And that quick release goes up and over the blocker of Jack Campbell. As soon as Hall turned it over, he thought he had some support behind him. Instead, it's DeBrincat in alone.
So DeBrincat has his 3rd of the year. 32 last season. There's a turnover, and Nylander had it slide off his stick, played around, and Austin Matthews looking to center, and that was blocked. Seth Jones with a pair of assists in his opening frame. Bouncing puck, backhand by Bunting as he wins a battle in front of Kevin Lankinen, but Lankinen has the stop, and now Jake McCabe clearing Nylander from around the Chicago net. Big start for the Hawks, a power play goal by Doc, and now Alex DeBrincat makes it 2-0 for Chicago. Defensive struggles since the season started, and it continues tonight.
Yeah, both on the penalty kill here. Just a misplay by Muzzin and gets Doc in, and then a turnover in the zone. No support from behind. This is a pairing last year that was a combined plus 37. And here, just 8 games into the season, it's a minus 15 for the two. It's just an unusual play by this pair that was so good together. You wonder at some point, as a coach, you start tinkering a little bit. Do you break the pairing up, or do you allow them to work themselves out of it?
11th even strength goal that Muzzin's been on for, 10 for Hall. And we're just in game number 8.
Well, from a coach's mindset, when things aren't going well and you're not getting the breaks, you don't want to be doing too much tinkering. He's already changed the lines a little bit and moved Marner down and Nylander up, but that defensive pairing is typically one that you don't really even have to think about, and that hasn't been the early on case this season.
Leafs break it out. Rick Ryan goes. Tavares goes after it. Up against his old junior teammate in Oshawa, Calvin DeHaan, and the puck flips over the glass.
You mentioned it off the beginning. That's just the 7th even strength goal by the Chicago Blackhawks. So for Jeremy Colton and his crew, so much made. There's so much focus off the ice and the problems with this team, but to be able to get their first game where they scored first just allows them not to be chasing the game like they have been this entire year.
They came into this game with 3 first-period goals and had 2 in the opening 12 minutes of this one.
Well, you come with some new bodies. We saw Jones get the nice assist on the last goal, but also Fleury coming in as the Vezina winner and having his struggles. This is the first time in Fleury's career that he started losing his first 4 games. Chris, last year it was the 22nd game of the season when he lost his 4th game. He was 18-4 to start out. It's been a tough start in Chicago.
It has been at least 4 goals against in each game. In fact, 18 goals against in 4 games for Fleury. Last year he didn't allow 18 until the 12th game. So,
welcome to Chicago.
Yep. There's Matthews testing Lankinen. Puck comes out to center. Kubalik will drop it off into Brickett. Kubalik are in. The return pass for Kubalik doesn't work. And Morgan Riley's going to look up ice. Nylander kicked it back, and they'll have to regroup in behind the Toronto net and come out led by Brody. Riley across. There's Nylander on the right side. William Nylander track there. It comes into the slot and a backhand flip on goal by Riley. Tried to center that. It went off the skate of Matthews. And the Leafs are changing. Simmons gets on to break up what looked like was a 2-on-1. And now Matthews to the attack. He'll drop it off, but Bunting couldn't reach it to hit of Jake McCabe. Matthews gets it back. He fires. The rebound in front. Bunting another chance at it. Looked like he tried to put that between his legs. But Lankinen with the stop. Bunting in an awkward position there. Just couldn't get good leverage on it. Doc sends it in behind the Toronto net. And there is Muzzin up for Nick Ritchie. He'll send it to the right side. Ritchie had 5 shots on goal in Carolina. Might have been his best game so far as a Leaf, but he's looking for a lot more. Spezza sends it in, and there's Gaudette to play it back for Gustafsson. Gustafsson stumbled, and Lankinen's going to hold on to that. So 5:08 remaining here in the first period. Austin Matthews testing Lankinen, and there's that rebound chance for Michael Bunting.
Leafs gel caps. For this recap, we take you back to Monday night following the loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, and Sheldon Keefe had this to say: playing on the road here in Carolina is a different animal. It is something that our team hasn't really felt in quite a while. It requires a lot more from you and is eye-opening. Well, guys, so far in this first period, another eye-opening experience for the Maple Leafs.
Absolutely, and what's noticeable is he wants his team to push the pace and be aggressive, even the defensemen.
You've seen it early on, a couple of odd man rushes against, but every time the chance is there to pinch in and keep the play going, the Leaf D have been doing it.
Activating there was TJ Brody. It jumps the stick of Kerfoot, but Riley on the other side along the boards, and Taves flips it out.
And that's getting back to the structure. When the Leafs are at their most dangerous, that's when they are very effective. They keep the pressure on. They pinch down on both sides equally as effectively. And right now, that's where they're trying to get themselves back to.
In 6 games, the Hawks have given up 27 goals. There's Marner with a chance, and Lankinen makes the stop with Tavares on the doorstep. Taves back to the attack, and he can't get by Hall. Morgan Riley to Justin Hall as the Leafs make changes, and out comes Nylander with Bunting, and now Matthews over the boards. Justin Hall ahead, Nylander on the move on this right wing. Puts on the brakes, back to Hall. Across for Muzzin. And that was disrupted by Hardman, and it is sent out to center ice. Hall redline and back into the Chicago zone. There's the former Sabre Jake McCabe. Help from Kubalik to get it out. And after it goes to Brickett. Here's to Brickett shooting. Campbell gets a piece of that as DeBrickett looks short side. Taken away by Bunting, and he'll flip it down into the Chicago zone. Connor Murphy headmans the puck off the skate of Kubalik, and he'll go back to regrip it for McCabe and Murphy. Connor Murphy playing in his 500th game against Detroit on Sunday night, as that puck goes out of play.
Well, a couple of more good plays as Marner able to get the puck into the middle of the ice, down by the net for the rebound was Tavares. Good job of clearing it out for the second chance, though it wasn't there. DeBrincat looking on 2-on-1. He looked like he was going to pass, but saw Nylander had pretty good back pressure there, tried to go short side, but Campbell shuts the door and keeps that post close to his body.
There's David Kampf. He's 5-0 in the face-off circle in this first period. The other Leaf centers combined 3-7. Played to the line and back in off the stick of Gustafsson. A shoulder check by Engvall with Hardman closing in on him, and now Kampf reverses it. And Dermott with a little more room. Off the glass and into the Chicago zone. Ian Mitchell back to get it. Quick pass ahead for Gaudette. Gaudette checked there by Kasha. And now tied up by Engvall. Puck loose, and here comes Spezza. Jason Spezza fired, didn't miss by much as he tried to go far side. Back in off TJ Brody's skate. He'll make it into the corner. Wayne Simmons, he had his man lined up. Spezza trying to dig it out from underneath Ian Mitchell. Now it's Simmons to the line. TJ Brody, that was knocked down, but played deeper for Spezza, coming out of the corner, walking in front. Spezza, Lankinen got a piece of that. Now big Kirby Dach, who opened the scoring. His pass intercepted by Brody. Up for Simmons, and he'll try and charge back into the Chicago zone.
Boy, Spezza just realized nobody was coming to him. He was looking past the whole time, but as a right-handed shot at the end, he just tried to pull it to his backhand and get it up and over the blocker. Just barely missed.
Jones, and that's kicked up onto the netting by Campbell with 98 seconds left in this opening period.
Game-changing streaming on the go with Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network.
Well, so often this line for Jason Spezza has been able to be a spark. They've been a line that's been able to tie games and get a little bit of momentum swing. There's the quick early shot that gets deflected up and over, and the other one, a tight one in around the net that he wasn't able to get past the goaltender.
Justin Hall up ahead off Tavares and turned right back in by Chicago. Hall intercepts a pass, and now Muzzin looks up ice. That's too far for Tavares. It's icing Toronto.
This game is all about energy and emotion, and at times it can bowl over. And don't know exactly what happened here, but watch Matthews. I don't know if he's yelling at the official or yelling at another player, but down the bench as he's trying to get some reaction from his group.
Reminder coming up in our first intermission. Carolyn and the panel will speak with Sheldon Kennedy, an important interview on this day. Coming up in our first intermission with a minute 10 remaining in the opening period. Mitch Marner steering it just inside the line, but the Hawks take control. Lead feed, it bounced off Hardman.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Campbell out to play that. Kurashev flipped that, and it went high and out of play.
You come on the road in a bit of a slide, you just look for something positive to build off of. And here, 55 seconds, puts the Matthews line out there again, trying to get some sort of a spark to get some life going into the second period.
Matthews with one shot in the period. Jake McCabe lost it to Matthews, but Kurashev comes up with it and sends it back into the Leaf zone. 40 seconds on the clock as TJ Brody looks up ice. Morgan Riley's got 3 shots on goal in the period. Rick wide, DeBrincat will send it back into the Leaf zone. Riley ahead, and that skips past Nylander, and that's going to be another Leaf icing with 21.9 on the clock.
Well, there's another just an errant pass, and you know, face-offs do become so important, and we'll see who comes out for the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, Jonathan Toews, they want it on his strong side, so it forces Matthews on his weak side to try to get in and disrupt this key face-off here for Jonathan Toews. Don't you find that pass for Riley, though, was just trying to make something out of nothing? You know, late in the period there, that's a hope pass that was about 3 feet in the air and never made it to its target.
It's the old saying about it's not what you make, it's what you leave, and now they've left a chance for Chicago here, a face-off win in the late stages. A slot pass for Taves, but Bunting was there. Now they go to the attack. Still a little time left in the period. Matthews charging in, trying to get it to Riley, who jumps up. Played in behind the Chicago net. There is Bunting. Couple of seconds left. Nylander trying to get it to the net, and that was blocked in front off big Seth Jones, and the period is done. Kirby Dach, Alex DeBrincat, the goal scorers in the opening period for the Blackhawks, who outshoot the Leafs 11-10. And once again, coming up in our first intermission, a discussion with Sheldon Kennedy. 2-0 Chicago on Scotiabank, Wednesday Night Hockey.
Chicago with their first lead of the season, and it's a 2-goal lead as they are up 2-0 through 1 against Toronto. Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Cameron back with you. Our focus tonight, though, is off the ice, and I'm pleased now to be joined by a former NHLer and a sexual abuse survivor in Sheldon Kennedy, live from his farm in Bursay, Saskatchewan. Sheldon, how are you tonight?
No, I'm doing all right, Carolyn. It's nice to be with you.
I really appreciate the timing of you joining us on a day when Kyle Beach made his name public as the John Doe, as the survivor in the Chicago Blackhawks sexual abuse scandal. He made his name and his face public bravely earlier this evening in an interview with TSN's Rick Westhead.
Yesterday was a day of many emotions. I cried, I smiled, I laughed, I cried some more, and my girlfriend and I, we didn't really know how to feel. We didn't really know how to think. We just held each other and supported each other. Bianca's been my rock from the very beginning of this process. I've been a survivor. I am a survivor, and I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only one, male or female. And I buried this for 10 years, 11 years. And it's destroyed me from the inside out. And I want everybody to know, in the sports world and in the world, that you're not alone.
Sheldon, what was your reaction watching and hearing those words?
Well, I just got some chills. I had not seen that before. And, I just really want to say to you, Kyle, if you are listening, thank you. Thank you for your voice. You will never know how many people you're going to help by allowing, your face and your name to be in the public eye. So I just really want to say thank you. And what I know is the impact is real. That's what I know. And I remember I kept second guessing myself about why I felt the way I felt when I disclosed. And I think what I've come to learn is that the impact is real, and the way I felt was normal for what happened to me. So thank you, Kyle.
Sheldon, the title of your memoir is Why I Didn't Say Anything. How difficult was it for you to make that brave decision that you were going to speak up, you were going to say something?
Well, it's very difficult because I think that, in my situation and, it was a person of trust, a person in authority, an authority figure within a hockey organization. And I'd never heard of these issues before. I never knew what was happening. And I just remember the fear I had, the fear that nobody was going to believe me. I've done something to deserve this. It must be my fault. And it was so confusing in my head of what was really going on that I had a hard time even processing it to be able to tell everybody. And I think that when I told my wife for the first time, all she said to me was, "I believe you," and I can't even explain how important those words were.
You've made it your life's mission to not only educate the current and next generation, but also to support survivors. How has that helped you in your life's journey?
Well, it's been interesting because I don't know if I've ever made a decision to say this is what I'm going to do in my life, but it seems to be a place where I'm always pulled back to help. And I feel it critically important to help because what I know is that when we look at these types of issues, and you know, we with some stats that we have, I mean, over 80% of individuals at treatment centers and detox centers have disclosed, you know, abuse or sexual assaults in their life. So, I mean, the impact we know is huge. Our goal from day one is to empower the bystander. If you look at this case, if you look at the Chicago case, you look at most cases that we've investigated over 20,000 cases at the child advocacy centers in Alberta. And, you know, most cases, over 98% of them, the child or the person knows their abuser. And over 50% of those cases, those kids or those individuals are abused within their own family. So to me, there was many bystanders. And if I look at this situation, I mean, the bystanders that were here that, you know, knew that this was wrong, but didn't have the confidence to come forward, we feel is our best defense. And that's been our mission from day one. Our mission from day one is to try to build a confidence around issues that carry a lot of fear: abuse, bullying, harassment, inclusion, diversity. They carry fear because they're misunderstood. They're not well taught as we go through our lives. So we've spent our time trying to focus on the 99% of good people, give them the tools to be better, create a confidence around these issues for conversation to happen with clear language and a clear pathway to safe help.
Kyle Beach this evening in that interview with TSN, he said one of the reasons he was speaking out was because he knows that he's a survivor and there have to be more out there. And he wants to make sure that the same thing that happened to him doesn't happen to others. He also added that he wants to see more accountability. For this case that we see in the NHL, in hockey, what's the next step look like to you?
Well, I mean, this is about leadership. I mean, lock, stock, and barrel, these issues are about leadership. And when we want real change, and when real change happens within organizations, it starts at the top. And policies and procedures just don't cut it anymore. I mean, you know, they had their policies and procedures. From what I read in the report, they said that they were supposed to take prompt action, but obviously that didn't happen. So to me, I think, you know, with Kyle's brave voice, I think that there needs to be a real clear knowledge on how to get better. We need to get to the bottom line, to the bottom and base truth of this. Like, until we get to the truth and the real truth, we can't start being better. And I think that the league needs to learn and be able to make sure that they've created the infrastructure within every organization to not only educate every single person within that organization, but they also have to have a clear pathway for those to be able to receive help and to be able a clear action plan for when that disclosure comes forward. I mean, 10 years, and we look at the response, initial response, and then even the response from last summer, very disappointing. But I look at these situations and these as a good, teachable, let's learn from this, let's be better, let's make sure that this does not happen to anybody else.
Well, Sheldon, thank you very much for continuing to take your own personal experience and trying to make a difference for the future. I really appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Carolyn. Nice chatting with you.
That's former NHLer and sexual abuse survivor, Sheldon Kennedy. Chicago currently up 2-0 against the Leafs. I'll take you around the league coming up next on the first intermission. will meet with Commissioner Gary Bettman tomorrow. First period, that's Mason Marchment. Fires it past Linus Allmark to tie things up at 1. And second period, more from the Panthers. They are undefeated. Centers for Eetu Luostarinen from his knees. Why not? That makes it 2-1 Florida, and that's where we stand in the second period. Red Wings taking on the Capitals. Late first period, Capitals power play. Ovi a little closer than he normally is on the power play, but it still works. Career goal number 738, and David Amber is somewhere celebrating. It's 1-0 Washington. Second period, another Caps power play. Kuznetsov past Thomas Greiss. That makes it 2-0 Capitals. That's where we are in the second period. Coming up after the break, we'll get you back to the United Center as Chicago leads Toronto 2-0, and Houston on the board in the first inning in Game 2 of the World Series on Sportsnet.
It's been a tough start to the season for Mitch Marner, but Sheldon Keefe and the Leafs do believe that the chances have been there, and they're not technically wrong. The stats suggest they are. So far through 7 games, he's had 12 scoring chances, which is about on par with previous seasons. Now, if a few of those chances have managed to fall and hit the back of the net, well, maybe the narrative would be different, but guys, like they say, if my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
Is that what they say? I never knew they said that.
I will say that Mitch Marner's had 40 shots on goal since he last beat a goaltender, as he tries to snap a 15-game goalless drought, which also includes the last postseason.
I thought he had a better period, though. You saw the highlights where he's moving his feet, and to me, that's the key. The key for all the top players is get your legs moving so you can create some havoc at the other end.
Well, this should be interesting. The second period's been a nightmare for both of these teams. The Leafs have been outscored 11-3 in the second. The Hawks 10-3 in the second period. So far in the early season, and the Leafs with Bunting, Nylander, and Matthews to start. Kubalik's got it at center, knocked off his stick by Muzzin, and played back into the Chicago zone. It's a turnover there, and Bunting had the puck. He gets knocked down by Kubalik. And it's sent ahead. Doc looking for that puck on the right flank. He'll take a shot off the side of the net. Tied up by Riley. Morgan Riley, 3 shots, 7 shot attempts in the first period. And Sean talking about stats. The theme continues. The Leafs with more shot attempts in the first period, 23-15, and yet on the wrong side of the score so far. Riley moves up. There's the pinching defenseman, knocking it down and keeping it alive. Riley across, and that was broken up by DeHaan with Marner going to the net. Now back the other way. Loose is Hagel, Brandon Hagel, and that one blocked en route to the net as Rasmus Sandin got back.
There's another example of Riley stayed in, was trying to get involved in the play. Somebody's got to get back defensively as a forward to cover for him.
So with all the emphasis on defensive structure, is this aggressive play not risking defensive structure more?
Yeah, well, when you're not in sync, it does. You can be aggressive, but all 5 guys have to be of the same mind and reading the play at the same level. And right now, that's just a little bit disjointed, and you've seen already here in the first 2 minutes a few more odd man rushes going the other way.
Here's Spezza taking it away from DeBrincat and firing it down into the Chicago zone. Ian Mitchell with a backhand shovel out to center.
I like the aggressive mindset, and that has been the way that Sheldon Keefe has always been coaching. And as I said, when they're playing well and they're in sync, they keep the pressure on you. Right now, they're just a little bit off, and so at times it can be coming back into your own way.
Simmons hopped off the ice, and on comes Andre Kasha. There's Muzzin erasing his man. Hardman knocked down. Following up Gaudette, but the Leafs come up with a puck, and here's Engvall into the middle. Kasha swinging wide and getting the shot on Lankinen, and he'll hold on.
Chris, it's like everything. It's balance and being in sync and reading. The forwards have to read and know that it seems like the D have the green light to go in and get involved. We've seen it on both sides of the ice. We've seen it in the neutral zone at times. So the read for the forward has to be one of understanding that so you don't get caught. And here's just a number of examples. Riley has been down deep in the zone very often, and that can be effective. Turn the puck over and get a chance, but you have to make sure you have someone back in coverage.
So if that's the blueprint for success, there's that shot handled by Lankinen. Nylander with it in the corner. Matthews shot, that one blocked by McCabe. And Nylander trying to get it back. But instead of abandoning it, if that's your blueprint for success, you got to keep at it till you perfect it. But here come the Hawks the other way. Kirby Dach centering it. That was a good, well, not a good tick. It's going to be a hook against Brodie, who lifted the stick and prevented a scoring chance for Chicago.
You see the argument for Brodie. He's going, what else am I able to do there? He thought he got all stick. Let's see if he got any hands. But here's another pinch down the wall that Matthews is a little late getting back. Now you've got a 2-on-1 coming back to a 2-on-2. And yeah, I think he did get up in the hands. If you lift that stick below the hands, that's a great defensive play. I think it just rode up into the hands, and the refs will call that each and every time.
No, it's the second power play of the night for Chicago. They scored on their first and have 7 power play goals on the year. Kubalik with a hot shot, and he can let it fly at a power play goal against Detroit on Sunday from longer range. Jones will give it back to Kubalik. Now Tyler Johnson, that's broken up, and camps away with Marner. Here's Marner attacking shorthanded, and then buying a little bit of extra time as they start a change, and Muzzin's going to hit off as well. Seth Jones with a pair of assists. Alex DeBrincat's got a goal, and he's got it at the Leaf line, lost the handle, and it puts the play offside.
Well, the face-off was the most important to start the first chance. The Blackhawks win it, get right out of the top and into the wheelhouse there of Kubalik. That's a good save by Jack Campbell. He's already down, but he's tall enough that he gets his shoulder, and you can see his reaction as he cracks that one into the corner after making the save.
4 minutes into this second period, and 1:19 remaining in the Brodie penalty. Kerfoot to take the draw against Dach, and now he gets waived, so it's going to be Engvall. And Engvall wins it for Toronto. And Dermott fires it down. Travis Dermott, a former teammate in Erie of Alex DeBrincat, and Dylan Strome, who is not in the Chicago lineup. A healthy scratch again tonight. And of course, this power play would be going through Patrick Kane if he was available, but in COVID protocol as well. There's Dach turning back. Kirby Dach down low. Kurashev gives it back. At the line, Gustafsson to Dach. On that far side, Hagel. Gustafsson shrugged away by Campbell. Dach mans the point, gets it across. Gustafsson again, and that one off Riley to the boards, and the Leafs with a clear. 2 shots for the power play, and in the late stages of it now, Engvall picks up a loose puck. David Kemp is in. Won't stop Lankinen. Gustafsson up to Gaudette. On to the left side it goes. A move to the inside, and Hagel lost the handle. Muzzin sends it back, and that's off caution deep as TJ Brodie's back on the ice. Leafs get a roadkill, and let's see if they can get some momentum. Matthews with a steal. Across for Bunting, who overskates it. Nylander working it around to the left point for Muzzin. He'll drop it off. Matthews up high. Matthews getting tracked by Tyler Johnson. Gives it to Hall on the move. Hall leads it for Nylander. Leaps in that high cycle, and Nylander's shot hit a stick and ramps up into the screen.
That was a chance there when Matthews had his stick tickling the rafters. He wanted that pass. Instead, a shot by Nylander in the slot, just trying to get lost to the outside, and as soon as he's curling up, a little bit of a backward step, no pass across, and that shot by Nylander gets deflected up and out.
So Tavares comes out along with Marner and Kerfoot and Brody swooping in behind that Chicago net. The Chatham product played it along the boards, and Taves there to drop it back into the Leaf zone. Just past the 6-minute mark of the second period. 2 first-period goals had Chicago on top. Morgan Rielly over the line. Marner goes past. Tavares scores! A backhand beauty by John Tavares. And the Leafs cut the Blackhawk lead in half.
An amazing finish by Tavares, but this play is made possible by Morgan Rielly. I mentioned the offensive-minded defenseman jumping up. He makes a play in his own zone, gets support down low. Now you've got some speed through the neutral zone. But Rielly, who made that initial pass, jumps up, and now a perfect seam pass by Mitch Marner onto the tape, and that backhand up and over. Nice job of Tavares getting down on one knee so that he could get that puck up and over the glove. Look at how he really settles himself and gets a little extra zip on that one right underneath the bar, and what a big goal that is for the life of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, it's been a good night for Morgan Rielly. John Tavares has his second of the year. In the Eastern Conference, only Alexander Ovechkin with more shots on goal among forwards than John Tavares. And finally, after a lot of chances, it goes for Tavares, who had a post in Carolina. Remember that great save earlier this year by Shesterkin on Tavares. Now it's Gaudette charging in. He sends it wide of the net. Hawks are changing. They had too many men out there. Seth Jones hops back over the boards. Hawks got away with one. Bunting to the net. In front. Just out of the reach of Matthews. Leafs have got some jump after the goal. Nylander, and that hit Matthews and goes wide of the net. He was tied up with McCabe. Pressure continues. Matthews trying to come out in front. Trying to work his way from the checking of DeHaan. Now Bunting will take over. Justin Hall. Spence has come over the boards. Matthews goes to the bench, and that's picked off by Hardman, and he'll start back.
That's a good move, though, by Sheldon Keefe. You had the Matthews line with a good shift, followed up by a Tavares goal. Go right back with the Matthews line again to try to get some momentum going.
John Tavares has the Leafs on the board. 2-1 here in Chicago. The World Series on Sportsnet continues as the teams head to Atlanta for Game 3. Tune into the Astros-Braves Friday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now, presented by TD. And Houston with a 2-1 lead in the third inning tonight. Good news there as Morgan Rielly, who went to the Leaf room, is back on the Toronto bench. Scrum at center, and Chicago works it in. Brody back ahead of Kurashev. So Marner with his second point and a stretch pass for Tavares. And that just missed connecting with Kerfoot, who sends it back in the direction of the captain. Centering play, and that was intercepted by DeHaan, intended for Mitch Marner.
And what you liked about that Marner play, too, was it was just his instincts. I mean, that's not overthinking it. The puck was on his stick and then off right on the tape of Tavares in a split second. And that's more like the way he was playing with confidence and moving the puck as he does so effectively.
Say a goal can get you going. Get a good assist.
Absolutely. You got to get something positive. It's been nothing but frustration. 6 games is an awful long time without a point for a player like that. And it feels like a heck of a lot longer.
Tyler Johnson tied up along the boards by Matthews. And he comes away with it, and Tess Campbell.
Chris, nobody's played more in this game than Morgan Rielly, over 12 minutes already. And I just mentioned this is what the definition of playing hard minutes is. Look at how quickly he makes that play, gets on his horse, does a good job with his foot to control it. Now he drives deep, and that opens up the cross lane for Mitch Marner to find Tavares. You know, you can't write up a goal. When coaches talk about good defensive plays in your own zone, create offense, there's a great example. Morgan Rielly comes back, makes a nice outlet pass, and then jumps up and follows. And next thing you know, it's in the back of the net at the other end.
Taves wave out. And Ryan Carpenter redirects him to the top of the circle, up against David Kemp, his old teammate. And from the draw, Leafs are going to end up with it, or are they? Chicago gets it back. See how they score that face-off win.
I was going to say, do you call that a win or a loss?
In the slot, Carpenter didn't get all of that, then turned aside. Hagel after it. Hagel, Carpenter, and Taves, but now the Leafs get pointed in the right direction. Kasha tried to duck under a check and go after it. Ian Mitchell up the boards, and here comes Chicago. Jonathan Taves over the line. Rasmus Sandin got a stick on that, and then comes back to take it away. Up for Kemp. Lankinen out of the net. He'll play it around. Rasmus Sandin a shot, and Ritchie tried to redirect that. Leafs are changing as Simmons comes over the boards. Sandin fired it. That was blocked in front. Ritchie chips it behind the net. Eric Gustafsson with an outlet. Up ahead it goes, and Reese Johnson goes after it. An energy guy for Chicago. Ritchie knocked him down. Puck comes loose, and that went off a stick to the corner. McKenzie and Twistle back out there for Chicago, but it's Jason Spezza the other way. Rasmus Sandin was headed to the bench, and he's going to stay out there as it comes to Simmons. And now icing is called against Toronto.
JackpotCity.net. Casino games perfectly made for you.
You got a combination line here as Simmons got caught out there. He ended up taking the icing, but you got Tavares and Kerfoot, two centermen out there as well.
And from the draw, Simmons, the winger win to get it out to center. And now he gets to the bench, and Sandin finally does complete his change as well. Dermott got there to play it into the corner. Back to the line, cross for Hall. That was a blocker stopped by Lankinen. And Hall goes back into his own zone. Up for Kerfoot, back to Muzzin. And Muzzin redlining in. First man to it, Kerfoot. Following up, it's Matthews. So Matthews, Kerfoot, Marner here. And Marner a little slow to get up after he got knocked down. And heads to the bench. Here comes Kurashev. And Kurashev hit by Hall as the Leafs get control in their own zone. Tyler Johnson got his stick on that pass, but Bunting follows. Now it's Nylander. William Nylander trying to twist away from the checking of Connor Murphy. Jake McCabe, the former Sabre, will flip it away. Here's Kubalik. Former Sudbury Wolf gets it to Kirby Dach. And a shot. Campbell down to make that stop with Tyler Johnson on the doorstep. Jake McCabe testing Campbell, but it remains a one-goal Chicago lead with 8:16 remaining in the second period. Well, we mentioned Mitch Marner with an assist in the game, trying to break through, and he right now has the most shots of any forward without a goal so far this year, in some good company with Kirill Kaprizov. The leader in that category, if you call it a leader, was Nick Ehlers of the Winnipeg Jets until he scored two in about a minute last night late in the game, and suddenly Nick Ehlers feels a whole lot better about himself.
It just changes your whole mindset, your whole way your body feels. You're just looking for a break.
There's Engvall with a shot into the glove of Lankinen, and a little extra curricular after that.
Looks like they're both going to go Also had David Camp gave a little shot to Jonathan Taves as well, former teammate. They're pushing each other in the corner a little bit as well. Hasn't really been an overly physical game, has it? No. I wonder if there's something personal there, as they're still jawing at each other. Let's see at the end, just a little pushback there as Mitchell gets it, and then Carpenter just comes to the rescue, and now I think they're 4-on-4 hockey, a little open ice, and this could make things interesting as well, as now you've got an offensive zone face-off with some 4-on-4 hockey. Interesting here, Sheldon Keefe sticking with the Nylander-Matthews combo, and I would assume the next out would be the Tavares-Marner.
Neither team has had a goal scored for or against four skaters aside yet this season. So Matthews will face off against Doc. Puck dropped in, and Seth Jones there to claim it for Chicago.
Gives you a little glimpse of Chicago in terms of Kirby Dach getting that assignment, isn't it? I mean, Taves was just out there, but that's something for Dach to develop into as a key centerman going forward with this team. The responsibility of playing against the line and a player like Matthews.
He's the next one after Jonathan Taves for sure. Third pick overall as Campbell sprawls to cover up. Third pick in the 2019 draft.
Another great example, you just can't rush development. You know, players, he had a really solid rookie year, maybe a little bit of a step back because of some injury last year, but a 6'4" right-handed centerman is something that a lot of teams will covet, and he's got a good mentor with that man, the captain, down the bench to see how you got to play to be successful at this level.
Shots are even at 16 apiece. 2-1 Blackhawks, 7.5 minutes remaining here in the second period. And we're 40 seconds into 4-on-4, and not a whole lot's happened yet. Calvin DeHaan will try and change that. Now Kubalik to work along with DeBrincat, sliding it through. That pass missed. Kubalik got there ahead of Tavares. Now DeBrincat across, and Jack Campbell comes across and makes the save.
Great slide across and square to the shot by Campbell. That's a long pass, but it was a rocket of a pass, so it got there quickly. It had a lot of real estate to cover, but you could see Campbell at the last second, the good reaction to absorb it in his body, but he read that hard pass across, and he pushed with the left leg to get there in time to make the save.
There's Connor Murphy with the shot. And a face-off win by Matthews, and the Leafs get possession here with just under a minute, four skaters aside. Matthews and Nylander back to work. 34 comes through center. First, quickest American-born player to hit the 200-goal mark. And now onto the right side for Hall. He didn't quite have enough to get that lane to the net. And the Hawks will play it back to Connor Murphy.
An awkward hit there as Matthews was reaching for the puck, and Murphy did a good job of taking the body and caught Matthews by surprise a little bit there. He didn't expect to get hit.
Here's McCabe. Got Hagel loose. Doc back in the Leaf zone. Former Fort Saskatchewan Ranger turns it over, and now Kasha starts away. Out of the box comes Engvall, and Carpenter, rebound in front, and Hardman came back first. Now Doc to the attack. Sort of beauty off the rush, but not going to beat TJ Brody, and here's Spezza with a takeaway. He had 3 of those in Carolina on Monday night. It goes to Riley, and over, and deep in is Brody. Couldn't get a shot away. He'll hold on to it. More time than he thought. Spezza. Riley, back to Jason Spezza. That shot flies high, kept in by Brody. Leafs trying to hem the Hawks in here, but Gustafson's got it. And he'll play it to Doc, who's been out there a while.
Yeah, Lankinen without a stick, though, for a good 15, 20 seconds. Just couldn't get control of the puck to get it back towards the goaltender.
And Doc hits the puck out of midair, and play is stopped. Check on that last hit there by Murphy, who got Austin Matthews' attention. After this.
Yeah, one of those awkward hits, though, when you brace yourself and expecting to get hit, it typically doesn't hurt all that much. I think he was focused on the puck, wasn't expecting to get any physical. And you always have to think about the wrist, too. Those are those kind of situations when you've had a bad wrist that when you jam it up and you get a partial hit, it can be pretty painful.
Kerfoot knocked down behind the Chicago net, and Seth Jones, who's had a good night, had a tough debut here in Chicago, and trying to win the fans back. He's got a 3-game point streak now, and plays that to the net. In fact, Jones has 6 assists in the last 3 games.
Amazingly, came into tonight -9 and was minus in 5 of the first 6 games. So that's never a good feeling going to a new team as a key centerpiece of the deal.
DeBrincat back to the line. DeHaan shot goes wide of the net. Sandin chops it ahead, trying to get it to Marner. Cut off by DeBrincat, and Kubalik another chance. Last game against Toronto, Kubalik had 2 goals and an assist. DeBrincat back to the point. Off the bench was Entwistle, but picked off by Kerfoot at the end of a shift.
He didn't read the mind of Jones there, as Jones thought he could feed it to him in the middle. He could come right down the slot for a good chance.
Muzzin knocking it down off the chest and getting it across for Nylander over the line. Around for Matthews, he lets it go for Muzzin, plays it to the net, bouncing in front, and Mackenzie Entwistle took it away from William Nylander. Out comes Gaudette. He'll chip and chase. Entwistle after it, the Georgetown product. On the forecheck, but Bunting gets it to Matthews, and up ahead is Justin Hall. And that's a close offside at the Chicago line.
Can't see the puck on the ice? Might be time for glasses from Clearly. Use virtual try-on and shop for glasses online at clearly.ca.
Chris, you mentioned the second period as both these teams, Toronto's given up 11 goals and Chicago 10. We've only had the one. I thought we might have a little bit of an explosion by one of these 2 teams in this period, but just the 1 goal, the difference so far that Tavares scored.
One of those stats that don't make sense. The Leafs outscored 11-3 in the second period, despite outshooting their opponents 82-66 in the period.
Yeah, I think that's been part of the calm for Sheldon Keefe, is so many of the stats don't really represent as we get our second little shoving match at the end of the whistle. Last time 2 guys were sent to the box. Hagel and Brody having a little talk here. You know, we've talked so much about the lack of goal scoring, but not so much the lack of stats. Here's
Engvall certainly got the attention of the Blackhawks. McCabe came in late from the point and challenged Engvall.
Let's see if these officials, Pierre Lambert, Trevor Hansen, just say, I've seen enough of that. We might be back to some more 4-on-4.
Well, McCabe's going for sure. He certainly arrived late. Doesn't look like Engvall's going to the penalty box.
That's one way the officials, it's DeBrincat's over talking to Trevor Hansen now, but typically to end this kind of thing from happening, they grab one out of the pile, and that's the case. McCabe came all the way in late, and he ends up being the only one. So what an opportunity here. You talk about a momentum swing, Chris. A power play for the Leafs that, like so much of their offense, has struggled for a bit. 0 for 14 in the last 5. This is one that you've really got to bear down and try to put one in the back of the net and get yourself tied going into the third period.
No power play goals in the last 5. They were 0 for 3 in Carolina. And 9 for their last 100, which by my calculations is 9%.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
That's about the toughest math I can get. Hawks win a face-off and get a clear.
Taves goes off out there for the draw, did his job, and goes to the bench.
Riley at the wheel. And see Carpenter behind him waiting for that drop, but it gets to Marner. He gets in. Tavares, the goal scorer, back for Riley, just out of the reach of Carpenter. There is Nylander on that right flank. Yesterday, he was in the bumper spot. Here's Marner, shooting, rebounded it, skipped over the stick of Tavares, who had an open net. Back it goes to Marner. There's Marner firing it. Lincoln got a glove on that. William Nylander tried to go rink wide. Comes back to Riley. Marner, Matthews, his shot hit the traffic in front. They got it moving around though. Nylander's on it again from the corner. Finds the seam, found Marner, tried to get it back, and that one picked off by Carpenter for a clear.
Now Matthews was just trying to curl away from traffic and come back in, and Marner thought that he was making a tighter turn, but that's not a momentum-killing power play. That's some good puck movement, some good chances on goal.
Under 2 to go in the second period. Engvall, who drew the penalty, goes after the puck behind the Chicago net. Now it's Bunting along the boards. Hagel checks him, kept in by Sandin. The second unit looked dangerous in Carolina. Sandin across, Spezza waiting. Spezza across for Engvall on the other side. Ritchie parks in front. And now it's Engvall missing on the one-timer. Ritchie will get it to Spezza. He can't handle it. And Hagel's out. 2 shots on the power play. Hagel down the ice and getting set to return is McCabe. So the Leafs unable to click again. On a power play, may have a 2-on-1 here. McCabe out of the box. Following up is DeBrincat. And down to a minute to play in the second.
1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute.
Muzzin up to Simmons. He'll bounce it in, and Kerfoot after the puck. Simmons along the boards. Gets a hit in, but Tyler Johnson and Taves start back. There's Hardman knocked off the puck as Jake Muzzin gives him the cold shoulder. Kicked by Kerfoot, but unable to connect on that pass. And play is called.
Another good sign for Marner. No hesitation. The little curl back buys himself a little open ice, gets the shot through, and right onto the stick was the rebound by Tavares' stick, but he couldn't get a hold of it. Another chance, tried to go up and over the glove, and Matthews, with all kinds of traffic in front, can't get that one through. Chicago's done a pretty good job of blocking and condensing into the front of the net, and there's one for Matthews. He wasn't able to find it to get it through to the goaltender.
So 30 seconds remaining as Tavares deflects it deep over the Chicago net. Matthews charges in, and he's going to get a penalty as he upended Jake McCabe. And it will be Matthews to the box. And the Leafs will finish this period and hope they start the third shorthanded.
And this is just trying to create a last-minute chance, and he gets just the stick on the back, and awkwardly McCabe goes down. As soon as he heard the whistle, he looked back, thought maybe wouldn't get called on that one, but instead of creating a late chance, you give Chicago another opportunity on the power play.
Dave's on the draw against David Kampf. Another face-off win for Kampf, who has excelled in that department tonight, now 7-2. So the late stages of the period, the Hawks have time to move it up ice here. A pass over the stick of Taves. He did make contact, so no icing. And it comes to Taves, centering it. All there as the horn sounds to end the period. But the Leafs get one back off the stick of the captain on a slick backhand by John Tavares. At 6:14, we're through 2-1 Hawks.
Second
second period that saw the Leafs come within a goal, but it also saw pretty frustrated, perhaps a little angry and fired up Austin Matthews. This is a family show, so I'm not going to show off my expert lip reading.
I think he's yelling, "Let's go team," or "Go team go."
Yes. I love hockey.
Yes.
And my teammates. It's kind of the fire you want to see, though, through 2 periods when you're down and the season has started the way it has. Carolyn, Anthony, and Jennifer back with you. So it seems like a pretty, I guess, loaded question, but what needs to change for the Leafs, not just through these first 2 periods, but thus far this season?
Well, you can tell Austin Matthews is very frustrated just because they're just not getting back to the basics. And they've been their own demise the last couple of days, especially in the D zone, but just even with the defense right now and their gaps. And their gaps have been totally off this whole entire game from the first period. And it started with the first goal here. There's a bit of a turnover, and Justin Hall is facing the wrong way. Here's Muzzin, basics. Your sticks has to be on the ice there. Kirby Doctor, inside, outside, top shelf. So when you're in that D zone, you have to have good reads. You got to be facing up the ice. Here's Hall here. He knows he's the only guy back here. He's got to go get that puck. Instead, he's playing afraid. He's worried about a 2-on-1 that's not even there, and he just gaps back. So that's why Matthews is frustrated, because he's saying, go get the puck. We got to be on our toes. If we're going to lose, we can't be sitting back here. So those are those basics. Another one here, you got to get the line. So this Toronto Maple Leaf team, when in doubt, you can't try to make it more difficult. You got to keep it simple. Get pucks in deep, as our friend Ken Reed's probably going to say in about an hour here. And that's what's going to drag you out of this funk that the Leafs are currently in.
Well, you talk about what they need, though. They need a little more of that edge and that fiery approach. They have higher expectations for themselves as individuals and as a team. So to see Matthews responding this way can be a real indication of his leadership style, that yes, you want to play really well on the ice, contribute offensively, but you also know that you believe in your teammates and you expect them to play better. So to see him being vocal on the bench, and yes, he's frustrated in some capacity, but it's also encouraging that he's demonstrating his higher belief and expectation in his teammates to be better, to move the puck quicker, to play at a faster pace, because he knows that they're capable of better performances on the ice.
Only downside of that frustration is that now he's going to be in the box.
Yes, there has to be a fine line.
I just had to balance it
Absolutely, but it's still, he's battling. He went into the corner. It wasn't, you don't want to take an offensive zone penalty, but at least he's fired up and going into that corner with purpose.
It's been firing her up in that period. Seeing Matthews get pretty fired up. Also, I mean, we speak so highly of Jason Spezza, but you still don't want him to be your leading goal scorer, but he had a good start again tonight.
Yeah, he's been great, and that wasn't really the expectation for Jason Spezza coming into the season to be the leading scorer on the Maple Leafs. But he does have a calming presence. And again, he's been really good with his offensive zone puck possession. And he's really taking the opportunities that are presented to him. And so, I mean, the Leafs had some great offensive zone pressure. Spezza in great positioning, just misses getting the rebound off the backboards. Look at the mobility on Spezza coming through, misses the wrist shot wide. But he's competing. Again, reading the time and space, poise and confidence, walks into the seam, tries to go backhand. But this is the sort of effort the Leafs need. Marner using his speed to outwork, be the first one to the puck, and then coming through the zone, seeing the options, and a nice shot pass to Tavares that just missed. And then again, getting the results finally on the rush, the quick one-touch pass, and Tavares with the finish. But it's those compete moments and the speed, when you use your talent effectively, then they'll start to get those offensive results that they're looking for.
And just another quick point on Spezza. Like, he's just as skilled as some of these top players on this team. I've seen it with my own eyes. He's probably got the best hands, but he gets back to the basics and he keeps it simple. That's why he's having success right now for this Maple Leafs team.
Everyone unfairly pays attention to his age.
Yeah. How old is he? 33, right?
Yeah, something like that. And then a few. John Tavares, though, with his second goal of the year. I do know that number. He's standing by with Sean McKenzie.
John, when the group is going through a tough stretch and you find yourself down too early, just what do you guys do to make sure that no frustration or doubt creeps in early in the game?
Well, you got to try to stay as present as possible, as not ideal as the start and being down 2 and where we're at that point, there's nothing you can do about it. So, worry about how we can be better the next day in that area and focus on the task at hand and knowing there's a lot of hockey left.
This morning, a lot of the talk was about defensive zone structure and not cheating for offense. In the third here, how do you make sure that you make that a priority while still trying to push to get that equalizer?
Well, when we're playing at our best, it's all connected. All those parts of your game are connected, and when you're defending well, you're not spending time in your own zone, and you're you know, you're putting pressure and putting your opponent under stress because you got the puck and you're able to create opportunities, favorable situations where you can get pucks on net and be able to sustain offense.
John, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Ooh, a little bit of a party at the United Center as Chicago maintains their first lead of the season, up 2-1. After the break, we'll take you around the league as Detroit, a late push against the Caps.
It almost becomes normal to watch him come down the left wing and just kind of pull it inside and put it home.
His pull and snap shot, oh my, can't teach that, cannot teach that.
Wow, what a shot.
And he's got the puck, you're pretty nervous.
Human highlight reel goal by Austin Matthews.
There's no one with the type of release and his ability to be deceptive.
I think he's the best shooter in the league right now.
That one was labeled. Look at how quick that puck is on and off the stick.
If shock and awe means that he's got a great shot, then that's for sure the case.
Austin Matthews does it again.
I think that's an accurate X factor for him.
Connor McDavid has said that he wants Matthews shot. I think Matthews wants McDavid and the Oilers record as they look to improve to 6-0 to start the season. Top of the clock, they take on the Philadelphia Flyers at 10 Eastern Time on Sportsnet 360 and Sportsnet 1. Let's take you around the league, beginning in Florida. Bruins and the Perfect Panthers. Second period, tied at 1. Sam Reinhart centers for Eetu Luostarinen. Why score standing up when you can from your knees? Show off, Anthony?
Absolutely.
Late in the frame, Erik Haula sent in alone. Oh, no.
Not a Hall of Famer there.
I always laugh when he says that. I should. And how's this from Anthony Duclair?
I taught him this one here as a young Bobby Orr flying through the air there.
Just finds enough time and space. Beauty.
3-1 in the third period. Red Wings and Caps, late first period. Capitals power play. Alex Ovechkin, true to his number on the back of his jersey, his 8th of the year, but more importantly, career goal 738.
And David Amber will take note. He'll be very pleased.
Yes, he is freaking out at home. Third period, 2-1. Adam Ernie throws it on net. Robbie Fabry ties things up at 2. From 2-0 down to 2-2 in the third. See if Detroit can pick up a point there, or 2. Golden Knights Stars, early first period. Miro Heiskanen takes a deflection and goes in. Luke Glendening gets credit. 1-0 Dallas. Not long after, Shea Theodore tied. Tied at 1. Come on, we don't want to have that discussion. Well, it was the Atlanta Braves who took Game 1 of the World Series last night. Houston, though, up 5-1 in the bottom of the fourth on Sportsnet. On Sportsnet 1, the third period awaits in Chicago.
Spezza, just one of the many hometown boys that the Maple Leafs have added in the past few seasons. He was a junior hockey phenom in Brampton in 2001, was the second overall pick in NHL draft, and Ottawa was his first NHL home. He captained the Senators until 2014. Then he was off to the Dallas Stars for 5 seasons where he played in his 1,000th game. But in 2019, it was time for Spezza to return home, and for the last 3 seasons, the Maple Leafs have enjoyed his leadership and a surprising amount of offensive output. So far, a great start to the season for Jason Spezza. Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson with the call of the third.
Tell you how good a career he's had, 974 points, 12 behind Dave Keon on the all-time list.
And hey, in a shortened season last year, he had his first 10-goal year in 4 years, and as Sean was saying, he's got off to a fantastic start. Doesn't look like he's lost a step at all.
Big third period ahead. The Leafs start shorthanded. Just over a minute 20 remaining in the late second period. Penalty to Austin Matthews. Muzzin gloved down a shoot-in attempt and gets it back out to center ice. Leafs trying to snap a 4-game winless streak. The Hawks trying to end a 4-game losing streak. As Taves moves over the line, Taves without a shot so far tonight. DeBrincat tied up, found it. Taves in front of him. Big block there by Justin Hall, who has 17, tied for 6th in shot blocks so far this season. Kubalik, Jones, it'll be DeBrincat and goal off the post. The horn sounds, but Jonathan Toews hit the goal post. Kept in by Jones. Warner signaling that he thought that came out. DeBrincat, Toews, and that's picked off, and Kerfoot is able to clear.
A little itchy finger there to get the horn on, when clearly that's off the bar. A good play down low that the pass wasn't able to be stopped by Campbell, but he got help from the goalpost.
10 seconds left in the penalty, a chance here, and that was muffled by Hall again, so 2 big plays by Hall on the kill. Played to an open side, and Matthews gets up and gets set to return. So a post, 1 shot on the power play, but it's still a 1-shot game. Kerfoot had his pocket pick, the Hawks keep it in. Here's Doc swooping in behind the net. Trapped by Engvall. A shot doesn't get through, and here Engvall plays it onto the left side for Kerfoot, who wants a change. Couldn't get it deep, but Matthews followed up and found the puck. Morgan Riley redlining in. And now it's Matthews, Nylander, Bunting, but back the other way comes Mackenzie Entwistle. Onto the right side. Entwistle won OHL championships twice with the Hamilton Bulldogs and a 3rd time with the Guelph Storm. Around it comes for Ryan Carpenter. Over on this near side, DeHaan will get it into the lead zone. Campbell out to play it away from the on-charging Blackhawks. Up ahead for Nylander, over the line. Ritchie did stay onside. Well, that was close. And now it's up into the air. And that go out. I think the officials lost track of it. That looked like it was out.
That hit the mesh for sure.
Doesn't matter, or does it? Kurashev in, and the net knocked off, and Campbell got crashed into, and that draws a response, and the horn sounding twice.
I think they thought the pointing by the ref was goal. It's pointing to a penalty. So a play that should have been stopped at one end because it hit the mesh ends up at the other. And it's Campbell who absorbs this hit after making a great save. And I think it needs to take a good talk to the horn man, because here's the play on one side, clearly goes up and hits the mesh way up there. Like it is going so far out. Nobody seemed to look at it except Chet Jones is saying it's out. Now all of a sudden a little flat-footed, and here's the collision at the net, and the response by Campbell and his teammates in front. That horn hasn't been used much here. It's been a tough start, and so he's got the trigger finger.
He's out of practice. That's twice on the same shift. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't think I have either. Here's the one, that first one, good cross seam that Campbell does get a piece of it with his stick, just enough to deflect it back off the post. And Toews thought that one was right on the doorstep to be had, and there's a block by Austin Matthews right on that instep of the leg, his left leg. After coming out after serving the penalty.
So it's the 2nd power play of the night for Toronto.
I don't know how that puck off the mesh was missed, though, Chris. That was so high up in the air. It seemed obvious to most players on the ice, but all 4 of the officials missed it.
Went so high up, clearly everybody lost sight. And you can't relax. You get created a scoring chance the other way.
Well, if you're ever trying to turn things around as a team, you take advantage of breaks. And here's one that you can have here is you get a play that continues on and then a penalty that gives you a power play chance. I thought their last power play looked more confident, had a couple good chances by Marner, and let's see if they can keep that confidence going here.
For practicing a different look yesterday, Marner on the flank, Nylander in the bumper. I'm not sure why we have to wait this long for a new stick for Kurashev, but it's a helmet too, so that's the reason.
You can't start it without a helmet for him. It could go the full 2 minutes, and he's got to go back out there.
So a new stick, new helmet, it's a payoff for a 2-minute penalty. The Leafs will try and make him pay. Tavares on the draw. Leafs win it back to Marner. Here's Matthews. Carpenter and Taves, the penalty killers for Chicago. Morgan Riley sends it to the net, knocked down in front. Marner finds it. Riley fakes. Marner across. Austin Matthews panned on it. Riley gives it back to him. 34. And it's off a defenseman in front and wide. Got that penalty kill unit moving around though. Matthews kicks it back. Riley gives it back. Connor Murphy tracking Matthews, and now they'll try the near side. Marner shooting and deflecting out of play.
Well, the frustration here for the Leaf power play is all the red sweaters just collapsing back to the front of the net. I mentioned before, a couple of good chances arise, but then watch the collapse and not being able to get the puck through. That last one there, McCabe able to get a piece of it, and puck never came on net. When Matthews went in, he had 3 bodies that he was looking at to try to find a way to sift the shot through and was unable to.
Just taking a second helmet across to Kurashev.
It was Strome's helmet that they grabbed from the room, and he's obviously not playing, and the repairs have been made on his.
43 seconds gone in the power play. Marner's got it. Morgan Riley, Tavares is parked in front. That shot is blocked by Murphy, broke his stick, and he goes to the bench, and Chicago gets a change.
That's back-to-back penalty kills where Murphy's been able to block a shot by Matthews point blank, not allow it to get to the net.
Murphy third in the league in blocked shots last year. Tavares had to fight off a check and was able to hold it in. Marner can't collect that. Knocked down by Nylander. Could keep along the boards, but his pass back is broken up, and Hagel sweeps it past Marner and out. Half minute remaining in the power play. Most of the big guns have stayed out. Sandin's checked in. Matthews behind the net. Here's a chance, and Tavares let that fly. Mitch Marner's got it. Sandin to Matthews, shooting right on. And Lankinen steers that to the corner. Final 10 seconds. Tavares, high slot, and Nylander tried to get a stick on that off the pad of Lankinen. Nylander gets it back. Austin Matthews one more time. Misses the target. And out of the box comes Kurashev. Unable to come up with that immediately, but now has it. Got the Brinket in front, but the pass rejected by Marner. Marner's been out over 2 minutes. I think Tavares has 2. And now TJ Brodie redlining in. Ritchie goes after the corner. Got it to Spezza. Back up top. Here's the shot, and Lankinen, I think through a screen, got a piece of that. Ritchie behind the net. He got it in front, but DeBrincat there. And plays it away. So some momentum off the power play and an icing call against Chicago.
Providing competitive odds on all sports. Sports Interaction is Canada's odds maker.
Just a rocket of a shot by John Tavares up and over the glove, but right in that corner off the bar and out as Tavares looked for his second of the game.
2 points in as many games, and off the face-off, Nylander is stopped by Kevin Lankinen. His 3rd start of the season. Lankinen had a good year last year, rookie season with Chicago. 17, 14, and 5 for a team that was in a bit of disarray in front of him, but he had a hell before.
Absolutely, and I don't think anyone would have expected that he's been in his 4th game here tonight, and Marc-Andre Fleury has been only in 4 as well, sharing duties.
Fleury gave up 6 on 37 shots Sunday against Detroit, and the Red Wings are next up for the Leafs when they return home. Leafs will start a 4-game homestand with Detroit Saturday night. Chicago goes on the road, and they've got Carolina and St. Louis, so it doesn't get easier for the Hawks trying to post their first win of the year here tonight. Nylander sidesteps Johnson. Here's William Nylander. Can't get the shot through. And the Hawks send it out to center. Chicago might be trying to sit on this 1-goal lead here in the third.
Yeah, it's dangerous to not be getting anything in the offensive zone. And you know the Leafs will be coming. They stay aggressive with their D pinching down. And here, all three in the corner fighting for the puck with Brody sniffing in to support as well.
Bunting picked the pocket of Entwistle in a rare matchup of dueling 58s in the NHL. And now a centering pass by Hagel. TJ Brody's on it. Hagel's going to hold the zone, but now Morgan Riley gets it onto the right wing. Kasha got Engvall, got room, and fired it wide. Kasha along this right flank, deep for Engvall. In behind the net, plays it back to the line, Sandin. Travis Dermott looking for a shooting lane, and he just sent it wide. Kicked out in front, and Kasha unable to control that hot rebound off the end boards we talked about a few times tonight as the puck goes out of play. So the Leafs pushing here in the third period. 7:22 gone on Scotiabank Wednesday night hockey. AWS, the official cloud infrastructure provider of the NHL. Tavares has been busy with shots on goal, and he's had a lot of prime looks. As you can see, the 10 shots from the inner slot. Has a goal here tonight, but look out! Back the other way! Off the post! Alex DeBrincat in front! Oh, Jack Campbell with a game saver there off Kurashev. So the Leafs dodge not one, but two there. First DeBrincat off the post, and then a post-to-post stop by Campbell off Kurashev. Back the other way, Nylander. Across it goes Muzzin, and Lankinen reaches out to grab that with traffic on the doorstep.
Well, amazing efforts by both sides on this one as DeBrincat, watch the hands here. The speed to get around Riley, a little quick puck movement, gathers it back up. Campbell does everything he can to try to get across off the post and open. How about this trap? Found that pass at the last second and then sprung out with that left leg and got the glove up on top of it. Both players can't believe for the Chicago Blackhawks that they scored there. DeBrincat with a great move, Kurashev with a heck of a shot.
These two teams lead the league in bad puck luck, apparently.
For Jack Campbell, though, that is a game saver. You know, there's the momentum. You can give a shot of energy on your bench. Making a save like that in a one-goal game. Can't score a goal, but you can stop one, and that was a heck of a stop.
Nearly turned over, but Justin Hall off the boards. It'll be kept in by McCabe. McCabe and Murphy. Been a story tonight, each of them with 4 block shots. And you mentioned, Craig, in the break, block shots an important stat here tonight. Been 18 for Chicago, 5 for the Leafs. With the Leafs on it. Now Adam Gaudette, watched by Kemp. Entwistle after it as well as he tries to come out of the corner, but staying with it, David Kemp wins a board battle. Dermott will flip it down. That hit a Hawk right at the line, and so Chicago takes over. Dipped deep by Entwistle, and Chicago gets a change. Out comes Kasha. Andre Kasha over the line, a solo mission. Now Spezza in support. Engvall in the area. Engvall turned back to go to the bench on a change as the puck popped loose. And Engvall's got to stay out in a defensive posture. McCabe, his shot blocked in front. Shot blocked by Brody. Spezza after it. Connor Murphy plays it back around. McCabe advances. Brody's got it behind the Leaf net. Forechecking here by Hardman and Hagel, and finally out to center. And on it is Simmons along with Spezza. And that was offside as Simmons preceded the play into the zone. So now past the midway mark of the third period at the United Center with the Blackhawks up by 1. season. Those numbers don't look like a team that's winless in 4.
No, and just it's hard to believe that the puck just doesn't seem to be able to find its way into the back of the net. And you know, one of the big things is they came in with 71 slot shots, most in the National Hockey League. That's the area you want your team to be competing in. And so you got to have some faith that things will turn. Maybe you just need a lucky goal to turn everybody's confidence around.
58 shot attempts so far tonight. Austin Matthews has 11 of them. 3 have hit the net. Under 9.5 minutes remaining. Morgan Riley's got it. Looks for Matthews. Over the line he comes. Austin Matthews swooping in. Holding on and tracked by DeHaan this time. Brody. Nylander. TJ Brody at the line. And there's a shot that misses the target. This one of those rear shots that a Blackhawk didn't block in front. Nylander onto the right side. Matthews. And his drop pass for Nylander doesn't work. Nylander gets it back. Fires short side. And Lankinen humps the post. Matthews hunts the puck and gets it back. Took it away from Kubalik. Haul in, and Matthews lurking behind the net, punching, creating commotion in front. Back to the line, and that got past Muzzin. And now Muzzin retreats to Brinket. Kubalik, and it popped over his stick. Back the other way comes Kerfoot. Right wing for Marner. Marner in front, kicked away by Lankinen, with Kerfoot charging the net. Along the boards, Doc able to get it out. Now it's Gaudette. Gaudette in a centering play, and Marner picks it up and starts back. Along with Kerfoot. Looks like it's opening up here. Leafs get a change. And on comes Tavares, who will play it back to Dermott, fresh off the bench. That one blocked along the leg, and McCabe, fan on the pass. He'll regroup and just drop it down as Chicago's changing.
That was fortunate there. Sandin was thinking that puck was going to get through, and he was inching in. Could have been a 2-on-1 going back the other way.
Kasha headmans it to Engvall, who's been a burr in the Chicago saddle tonight. Here's Kemp, scores! It's David Kemp, the former Hawk, who has tied it with 7:29 to go.
And for Kemp, you talk about offense stifling. He had only 1 goal here in Chicago all of last year, and he couldn't have a bigger one for his new team in this one. Good job keeping the puck alive down low. Good support by Kasha getting it around. And how about this pass by Rasmus Sandin? I think it surprised even Kemp initially. Definitely surprised the goaltender. A little quick backhand turnaround, and that one goes blocker side. And couldn't have a bigger goal for the newcomer Kemp. Who said defensive specialist, usually in there for draws, and his first goal is a huge one for his Leaf team.
First goal is a Leaf, first goal in his first return to Chicago. As you mentioned, Craig, just 1 all of last year. He gets a big one here. He had 8 2 years ago, and the Leafs think there's a little more offense. Mentioned Dave Keon earlier tonight. The Leafs with 2 backhand goals in honor of number 14.
Well, as we saw all those numbers of shots and chances and all that towards the net, there's another great example of probably a shot that Kemp didn't even feel it was going to score. He just was trying to get it away quickly, and there's the reaction. You're on a new team, you're trying to make an impact, and there's what a goal can do for you and your confidence.
Face-off 1, the stick is knocked out of Nylander's hands. That's going to be a penalty. So the Leafs get the equalizer and now get a power play.
On how quickly the game can change. Now this is just reaching for the puck, and Nylander going to make a play. DeHaan just quickly going after him, just gets him right in the hands area too, and the stick comes out. You want to talk about an important power play. Forget about the pass, forget about all the zeros right now. You need to win a face-off, get control, and get that puck moving around.
Sandin and Marner, the assists on the Kemp goal. So Mitch Marner has 2 assists tonight. Hawks get a clear, and Jonathan Taves going to get down the ice first. Out with Ryan Carpenter. Think of those Hawk chances and a post by DeBrincat. The Campbell save a few minutes ago, and now the Leafs on the power play looking for the go-ahead goal. Nylander, far side Tavares. Back from Marner, the 2-assist man tonight. Mitch Marner up top. And his shot off the skate to McCabe. Kick save and a beauty for Jake McCabe, who's had a solid night. Riley, Matthews hops on him. Connor Murphy after it to Tavares. Nylander's got room, and he couldn't beat Lankinen short side. Marner again. Power play's done a lot of good things tonight, except beat Lankinen. That shot steered away. Matthews back to Riley again. Marner with 6 minutes left in the third. And Riley had a sprawl there. He's in trouble. McKenzie in Twistle. Breakaway. Chicago. Oh, and Campbell just got a piece to deflect it wide. The Bauer poke check.
Oh, he's done it often this year already, so effectively, but Entwistle coming full speed there, just tried to go 5-hole, wasn't able to find the move.
Now full speed for Engvall. Sweeping around, gets it to Spezza. 20 seconds left in the power play as Spezza gets it back from Bunting. Ritchie parks his big body in front. It'll be Spezza. Across, Engvall! And he just missed. What a look for Engvall on the setup by Spezza. Back they come. Penalty almost done. Spezza cross. Lost the handle, and they got a couple of shots, but unable to take the lead with the power play. Here's TJ Brodie stepping up. Causing a turnover. Oh, Kasha brought by Lankinen. One of his best stops of the night.
Boy, what a sequence here. A power play chance to try to take the lead. Instead, a bouncing puck. Riley down. Entwistle with a head of speed. Gets in all alone. Tries to go 5-hole. Oh, yeah, just a piece of the puck by Campbell to keep that one out of the net. Round, and how about that one for Jack Campbell going side to side? Keeps it a 1-goal game, and then the newcomer Camp ties things up, and then what we just saw going to break, another good play by Campbell to shut the door and keep this a tie hockey game.
And one of the themes was they're going to have to dig out of this with the whole team, and it's interesting that it's a support guy like David Camp who gets the tying goal. Now Nick Ritchie looks for a chance in front of the net, but it's chipped away, and Hagel dashing down the ice with speed. But a man going to the net, but the drop pass goes to the line, and Seth Jones plays it in. Muzzin won a battle against Carpenter, and Spezza locks it out. Found by Ritchie at the line, and he'll swing it in. Simmons gets a piece of Jones. Spezza ties up his man, but Hagel's away, and he's got Carpenter with him. Hagel wide on Riley, cuts back looking for help, and the Hawks were late getting into the zone on the change. And so now Hagel will head to the bench to finish it. Mitch Marner, John Tavares to the net, can't get it through. Jake McCabe there, he's got at least 6 shot blocks on the night. Not sure if they'll credit it with one there. Brodie off the stick of Tavares. Kevin Lankinen out of the net. Up for DeBrincat, held in, or was it? No, it came out, and offside is called against the Leafs.
Dawn Power Wash saves you time from scrubbing dishes. Simply spray, wipe, and rinse to clean as you go.
Well, they were down 2-0 before the 12-minute mark tonight on goals by Kirby Dach on the power play and Alex DeBrincat. Tavares in the second, David Kemp in the third. Who's going to end a 4-game slump tonight? Chicago or Toronto? It's Matthews. His pass hit a skate and picked off by Kubalik. Racing after it against Hall. Following up is Johnson. Here's Tyler Johnson. The late man is Seth Jones to the net. Stopped by Campbell. Jones has 2 assists, looking for his first Hawk goal.
And that was a smart play by Jones. Bunting got a little injured, nicked up, was trying to get off the ice, so Engvall was late getting there, and Jones took the opportunity to jump in on the play offensively. Now DeBrincat plays it behind the Leaf net. Engvall there. Kubalik quickly, Hardman closing on Engvall. Camp back to help out. The Leafs will get it organized. 2.5 left. Third period. Flipped away and wide of the net, so that's icing against the Maple Leafs. I mentioned Bunting a little late getting back to the bench. He was driving to the net hard, and he ends up taking a shot right here in the ribs. So he's slow to get up. Smart play, though, is when you a little bit delayed coming back from the bench. You can see Engvall reaching as Jones found the lane, but got enough on him that he wasn't able to get the shot that he wanted.
Hawks win the draw. Jonathan Toews behind the net. He'll center it, and that'll be picked off by Kasha, who sends it out to center ice. Connor Murphy's had a stout night on the back line, along with his partner McCabe. Toews for Ryan Carpenter. Cutting in, and he just missed far post. At the line, and it stayed in. Now the Leafs get control of Tavares. Alex Kerfoot will chip and chase. Murphy back there. Kerfoot knocked it to the far corner. Toews is on it. And now Tavares reclaims. Leafs have to clear the zone. Marner back in. It's Marner. Drops it for the captain. Gets it back from Tavares. Into the high slot shot, and that hit a skate nearly right onto the stick of Tavares. Centering play blocked there by McCabe. At the line, clubbed down by Hall. He holds the zone. And it's Marner. Big stop there. Right pad stop by Lankinen. Kubalik red line and plays it down on Jack Campbell and quickly moves it aside for Dermott. We are down to the final minute of regulation time.
1 minute remaining in regulation time. 1 minute.
And the next goal wins territory here at United Center. And around it goes for Mackenzie Entwistle with that great chance moments ago. Jones ahead, out of the reach of Hardman. Well, he must have touched it because icing wave. And now bounced down the ice. Icing as it popped over the stick of Lankinen and missed the target.
Another one for Riley, who was under some pressure there, just tried to lift that one up and get it on net. Instead, a critical face-off here. Marner, as you mentioned, a couple of assists tonight. He's been all around the puck, but here it's who's left here on the ice. David Kampf going to have to take this draw on his weak side.
Matthews allowed to come out late on the draw. Another face-off win for Kampf against Toews.
10-4 on the night. He's had another good night winning key face-offs.
Under a half minute left at center ice it goes. Dermott, Engvall, bouncing it down, and Kasha goes after it. Dozen seconds on the clock, and now the Hawks start back. Hagel on that right wing just steers it in. And Dermott's going to hold on to this, and both teams will put a point in the bank tonight, and they'll play for another in overtime as David Kampf scores against his old team to equalize for Toronto.
This overtime brought to you by Subway. New sidekicks with potato buns made from Canadian potatoes. Subway. Eat fresh.
The Leafs with 1 point at least on this trip.
Well, they knew they had a team that's been struggling to score goals. Chicago came in without having a lead at any time. First power play of the game, Kirby Dach with a beautiful individual effort to make it a 1-0 game. Then a turnover in all alone. Alex DeBrincat, quick little wrister, gets by Jack Campbell. But but start to cue the comeback as good quick passing play, and John Tavares with the backhander up and over the goaltender to cut the lead to 1. And then as we saw, you mentioned David Kampf, another good play by Rasmus Sandin, and that's tied the game.
Leafs lost an overtime game against the New York Rangers. Artemi Panarin, the hero, in what was quite an overtime 3-on-3 session. And Chicago lost against New Jersey, and Jack Hughes had one of the more memorable goals of the season in overtime against the Hawks.
Fanáticos en el United Center, vamos con una bulla para los
I wonder what the discussion is there. We've seen a few talks with Austin Matthews and the official.
Well, we've had overtime magic this year, one that the Hawks don't want to relive, but this one was special for Jack Hughes. It was the only point of the year so far for Chicago until tonight. And a fan got quite a souvenir after that goal. So here we go. Matthews and Nylander, Hagel and Taves. Morgan Rielly, the defenseman for Toronto. Seth Jones is on the ice for the Blackhawks. That Ranger Leaf overtime was something. Nylander up high, and Jones stays with him. Taves tracks Rielly. Rielly in behind the Chicago net. Nearly lost it. Hagel takes it away, and now the Blackhawks will advance. Hagel's got some jump. Hagel to the net. Campbell sprawls. Big save. Jack Campbell. And Brandon Hagel has shown his speed on more than a few occasions tonight. And Seth Jones decided to stay around Jack Campbell and cause a little commotion.
Well, just a great read, too, because you know that it's Rielly down low, the only defenseman on the ice. Hagel gets his balance back, and then he sees the opportunity against Nylander. Nylander just trying to push him to the outside, but there again, the aggressiveness of Campbell, knowing that the shooter has pressure behind. He tried to pull it back, but a great job of Jack Campbell getting the stick out there right on the contact, not allowing anything up and over. Sprawling and then covering up the rebound.
Hagel, part of that World Championship gold medal team in the summer. In Latvia, TJ Brody on the ice now with Tavares and Marner. What a spot this could be for 16. Marner testing Lankinen. It got through, but not to the back of the net. Oh, he came close. And now Doc will take over.
Well, that was one. Lankinen almost knocked it in himself after making the save. Good job of Kirby Doc coming behind and calmly getting it out of harm's way.
Doc and DeBrincat, the Hawks scorers are out there now. And DeBrincat's going to backtrack to center. Connor Murphy as well, and now changes forthcoming for the Blackhawks. Tyler Johnson out. Scored his first Chicago goal Sunday against Detroit. Here's Jones over the line, turns it over. Matthews and Tavares, 2-on-1. Austin Matthews, Tavares. Oh, and Lankinen comes across on a change-up that Tavares didn't get enough of.
Well, Lankinen's watched at the other end, and Campbell's made a couple of huge saves, a breakaway save as well. And this one, Marner right through the gut, gets the quick shot away. He knows it's behind him, almost knocks it in, but Doc does a great job of getting it out. Now a turnover. The 2-on-1, you're expecting shot maybe from Matthews. Instead, it's a bit of a knuckler coming. A difficult save for a goaltender expecting a hard shot. He was able to read the knuckler and make the save.
Matthews spun out on this faceoff. Hawks, Seth Jones, and Campbell has the save. Maybe a break here. Ahead it goes. William Nylander for the win. Scores! And the Leafs come all the way back and win it in overtime.
Chris, sometimes you need a break to get your luck going. Sometimes you need a great performance. And in this third period in overtime, it's been Jack Campbell that's given the performance to turn things around. That can be the momentum swinger. Shut the door, let your team know all you got to do is get one more to tie it. They were able to do that in the third, and then how about that? Another huge save as Campbell gets congratulations. This one, the game on his stick. Jones gets a piece of it, as does Campbell. He's going to get an assist as it goes from Campbell to Matthews and 5-hole. What a great move by William Nylander, pulling it to the side to open up the legs. Just great confidence here and sliding it between the legs to end this game.
Third of the year for Nylander. The 27 saves for Lincoln, and there's Matthews on the celebration after the setup. It wasn't easy, and this road trip's been anything but a big 2 points here tonight. And here are tonight's Molson Canadian 3 stars. 39 shots on goal for the Maple Leafs on the night. Jack Campbell, 27 saves. Kevin Lankinen made 36 at the other end. And William Nylander has the game-winning goal. The Leafs will head home with their first win against an American opponent. As we head back to the studio, here's Carolyn Cameron.